Let's take a look at problem number 9. And first we'll look at it by hand. And it says graph negative y is greater than or equal to x minus 6. Now let's review our steps a little bit. If I get my pen to work, oh there. Never mind. Graphing linear inequality in two variables. Our first step is solve for y. It just makes it easier whether doing it by hand or on the, even on the calculator. You have to solve for y. Pretend the inequality symbol is an equals and graph it with the following stipulation. If you got a less than or greater than in your original inequality, then you're going to use a dotted line. If you have a less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, you're going to use a solid line. There we go. Okay, step 2, pick a test case and plug it into your inequality and see if it's true. See if it is true. And then we'll have one of the following things happen. If it's true, you shade the side where that point falls. What I mean by a test case is actually a point. And if it's false, then you shade the other side. So let's take a look at these steps. First thing I'm going to do is solve for y. Well, in this particular case, to solve for y, we have to divide everything by -1. This becomes y. X divided by -1 is a negative x. -6 divided by -1 becomes a positive 6. And when you divide everything by a negative, you flip your inequality symbol. So the greater than or equal to becomes a less than or equal to. Step 1. Step 2, we're going to pretend the inequality symbol is an equals. And we're going to graph this. Since this is a less than or equal to, from my, that's interesting, I meant to do a colon. Less than or equal to tells us we're going to have a solid line. Okay. Now the 6 is our y-intercept. Nice part about putting it in solving for y is you can easily identify your y-intercept, which is the number at the end, and your slope, which is the number that's before your x. Well, the slope is -1, and you want it in fraction form, so you put it as -1 over 1. Now that's a change in y over change in x, which says I go down 1, right 1. So down 1, right 1, and that'd be my second point. Now we said it's going to be a solid line, so I go ahead and make that solid. Now we want to pick a test case. This is what, step 3. And almost always the perfect one to pick will be your origin, unless your line goes through the origin, or you can't tell which side it's on of the origin. Obviously the origin, 0, 0, is on this side right here. So we're going to take that, we're going to plug it into our inequality, and I'm going to work with this one where we got the y by itself. That's really the best one. So put 0 in for y, less than or equal to -0 plus 6. And this is more of a question mark at this point. We're wondering if that's true. Well, -0 is 0, so it drops away, and you get 0 is less than or equal to 6, which is true. Now, since that's true, my steps say shade the side where that point falls. So So we're going to shade the side where that point falls. The point falls right here, so we're going to shade this side. And that would be our answer. Now, if we were doing this on the calculator, you have to have the y by itself, so that step's still the same. The solid and dotted line still holds true, but then we got something additional. If you got a greater than or a greater than or equal to, we're going to use an upper right-hand triangle. If you have a less than or less than or equal to, it's going to be a lower left-hand triangle. And that'll make sense here in a minute. So we're going to, again, plug this in our calculator, negative x plus 6. So press y equals, clear, and then clear that. Okay. Now I need to do a zoom and set my zoom standard Z standard back, so I choose 6, like that. Okay. Now I'm where I needed to be. Okay, so press y equals, press clear. I didn't clear out my problem from or clear out my calculator from the previous problem. Then we got negative x plus 6, so I do a negative x plus 6. And I want to do my left arrow key until I can't do it anymore. You want to put it on the, well, I shouldn't say you can't do it anymore because you can do it from now until batteries go dead, but you want it on the far left. You want it on that first slash. So your flashing cursor should be there. If you press enter one time, it becomes a thick slash. If you press it one more time, it becomes an upper right-hand triangle. Well, this problem was a less than or equal to. Less than or equal to means we want a lower left-hand triangle. So if we push enter one more time, it becomes a lower left-hand triangle. And once you get that lower left-hand triangle, you press graph. And that gives you your answer there. Now, the one thing the calculator does not give you is does not tell you whether this line separates a shaded region from the non-shaded region, whether it's solid or dotted. That's why you still have to use that part. Let's see. Looks like B. B is our answer on that. So let's go check that. Whatever this problem was, 9. 9B. I swear, I don't know if my memory's going on this. On my calculator, or what's it doing? Maybe it's operator. 9B. So that checks.